my favourite time of year now. As much as I love the summer and catching up with a bit of time off, having a holiday, now ever since the first time I ever went netting when I was barely 16, it's just been my favourite time of year. It doesn't matter how cold it gets, what the weather chucks at you. The minute you're tasked with improving fisheries or netting lakes, or just helping someone develop their business, really is basically what you're doing. It's so rewarding, and I love it. Especially when there's, it's easy going and anyone can pull a net around a pond, but when there's fisheries with issues which you can help, it's so rewarding going in and making changes. Obviously some places they don't want your help, which is fine. Other places you'll go there, they'll pay for your help, they don't want to listen, that's absolutely fine as well. But we've got a nice portfolio of clients now who take on board what we say, and it's just simple, honest stuff going on about what we find. And you do have to get in the water. You can't just stand on the bank and say, oh, this, or look on the internet and say this will work in this situation, because it won't. You have to get in the water, you have to catch samples of fish and look at what's going on. Everywhere's different, and in the winter that's the time to do that work. It's no good doing it in the summer, it's too hot. There's loads of reasons why you wouldn't do it in the summer. The only reason we'd put a net in the water in the summer is very, very, very low-key stock checks on our own waters with very limited equipment and very, the right time of day. There's so much that goes into it, really. Water quality and transfer of infections are a real big thing. Whereas in the winter, cold water, everything's fine, the fish are tough, loads of oxygen, absolutely minimal risk of any sort of transfer as well. And that's when we're at our busiest. So we absolutely love it. We'll kick off really tomorrow. Really, we've been doing lots of bits and pieces up till now, but the three of us get back together tomorrow for full time cracking on, as it were. Little job up Manchester way tomorrow. A couple of out sites we're going to go and check on the rest of the week, and then we're up at Mere Farm Fisheries next week. Nice fountain there, and carrying on. So yeah, lots to do. The winter is the time to get stuff done. Digging lakes in the winter's tough. You wouldn't want to dig lakes in the winter. It's too wet, too muddy. You end up costing you more money because the machines are working harder a lot of the time. You'll be getting stuck. It's just a mess. You make a hell of a mess. Time to do things like grand things like massive lake construction projects would be the warmer months. That said, pretty much everything else we do in the winter. Planting as well. I mean, you can plant mature marginals in the winter. I've done it before with bare root marginals, but ideally you do it when it's a bit warmer. Anything to do with your fish stocks, there's less anglers around as well, which is massively helpful. So you can get in and do a lot of snag removal. That's the only time I'd entertain draining the lake down unless it's absolutely necessary. I mean, we were obviously involved with large scale things like Jersey a few years ago, draining the Val de la Mar reservoir down. That was done in August. It was 30 degrees pretty much, 25, 30 degrees, and it was but they had to do it then. It was a drinking water reservoir, 30 acres, 30 metres deep, and we had to take all the fish out of it. Well, that was Jersey Water's job to get us to come in and do that, and it was very successful. But same old thing, we had to be really, really organised. Every single job's different. For that particular job, I went out there previously and set up, sourced some tanks on the island, because it's hard to get loads of stuff over there. We took all our kit as well, got everything ready, oxygen, 3 tanks on a massive trailer towed by a tractor. We took 4,000 pound weight of carp out there. We took, a couple of £1,000 weight of perch in the middle of summer, and we didn't lose any fish. We were credited with that, but it was all about being organised and being realistic, and every job's like that. Again, you're dealing with livestock, you're dealing with people's businesses. The minute you take that for granted, the minute you have problems. Obviously this summer's been very little rainfall, and people have had the same sort of problems with algal blooms, and everyone bangs on the door going, right, yeah, we need more fish, we need to do this. They're always looking for an answer that's instant. It's like, right, well, I'll put this special chemical in and it will solve all my problems. In my experience, that doesn't really work. You need to get to the root of each problem, suss out what's going on realistically. You can't do that online. You can't do that by watching videos of me or anyone else doing. You have to engage people and get them in your water, get them in and get them and ask the right questions. And anyone worth their salt will give you an honest opinion. They won't try and sell you something when the answer. Unfortunately, I've found in the past that it would be easier. People almost want you to sell them a product rather than give them advice and say, well, the most beneficial thing you can do would be take those trees out, or crop those trees, or crop some fit, or give them practical advice. I've found it a lot of the time they almost want you to say, well, here, if you put this in, this will work. which is what a lot of business people would, a lot of unscrupulous people would just do that anyway to make money. But I don't want to do that. I've never been. It's not me. I hate it. It's why you just want to give people honest advice. If they don't want to listen to it, absolutely fine, no problem. Move on. You've done all you can. But yeah, practical fishery management is all I've ever preached, really, and I've seen and tried and been part of a lot of these other bits and pieces and gimmicks and stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, the stuff that works is the stuff that works. That's it, really. Natural products, hard work, graft, focused fishery management. That's what gets you results. Obviously, times change. Recently, the carp market's absolutely flooded. It was going to happen years ago. I was talking about it years ago that eventually that everyone will be growing big carp on, because it's not tricky. Let's be honest. We've been doing it for a long time. But the market now is meant that prices certainly haven't gone up, but everyone's competing for the same sales, which is why I'm glad I don't do it full time. We've always had some outsites where we've grown some pretty decent fish on, and they've always done pretty well. But we don't wang on about this, that, and the other strains. I've never done that. Our fish have proved themselves over time, and everyone puts pictures online now. Oh, look at my fish, they've grown this. We've done it in the past, but at the end of the day, it's the summer. That's when they grow. That's like just feeding little kids and going, oh look, my baby's grown. Well, it will if you feed it. Everything's. You've got to be realistic. If you're putting fish into a stunted environment where they've got no space and food, they're not going to feed. A lot of chances are they're going to go backwards and die. But you give them space, and especially if you're digging a new fishery and you stock fish in it, they're going to grow anyway, and they're going to breed anyway. So, it's not. Let's not kid ourselves. What we do isn't rocket science, but we do still, to this day, nothing's really changed in that respect. We see an awful lot of people making the same mistakes, just led on by misinformation, really, or having sometimes too much information lead them down the wrong path. It's like, that's what I'm on about. Focused fishery management is all about doing what's right for each individual situation, and it's very difficult to generalise with our work. I spend ages on the phone all the time with different people, and they say, right, okay, well, I think it would be good if you come out and done this, that, and the other, and then you turn around and say, well, I can do, but you've got to remember everywhere's different, so there's only so much advice you can give on the phone. And people say, well, I did this at a lake not long ago and this happened. It's like, well, that's all well and good, and the chances are there's things you can take from that which will be relative to the lake you're talking about now, or river, or whatever waterway, but you can't guarantee that. So it's all about boots on the ground, getting stuff done, fact-finding information, and from that you can write reports and give people genuine, honest information and honest feedback. That's all it's about. Anyone who tells you any different is just trying to sell you something at the end of the day. But yeah, we'll be a lot more active on social media. Dave's on the case now, certainly on Instagram, which I haven't really got any followers on Instagram. I don't really know how to use it properly. So yeah, we'll just chuck loads of information, show you what we're getting up to, what we're doing, a few more giveaways. Certainly got plenty of clothing and fishing tackle to give away over the winter. We'll also post up where we're going. Obviously, we do a lot of private jobs, a lot of private syndicates, a lot of private, just people's fisheries really, where they don't want anyone on there. But we will let people know where we're going, and if anyone wants to turn up and pull a net or have a chat, then that's absolutely fine. So yeah, here's to a good winter, and we'll keep up to date.